Hey, what's up, folks? How's it going? So, today's interview question: how will you debug if two containers are not able to talk? So, this is the interesting question. You have set up, you are running two or three containers and they are not able to talk. Let's say you have set up one application, you have React.js, you have backend, Node.js and Express.js, and then you have Mongo. And for some reason, backend is not able to talk Mongo. So, how will you debug it? Okay. So, now you can watch my previous video also to know more about Docker network, that is bridge network, overlay network, and host network. So now we'll just get into this. So first thing is to see whether containers are on the same network or not. These containers, whether they are on the same network or not, that we need to check. If they are on different network, definitely they won't be able to talk. So let's run Docker PS. I'm running three containers: front-end, backend, and MongoDB, and I can check whether they are in the same network or not. So I can run this command docker inspect minus JSON and container ID. So here I can see what is the network ID. And for the next one also I can run it in same way. So under JSON there is a network settings. Under that you have network. So that is how I'm accessing it. And let's say this one. Here also network ID is 6B something 55. And here also network ID 6B something. So both are on the same network. So there is no issue here. And instead of this network settings whole thing, we can also run docker inspect and net container ID. We'll be getting complete details. And now we can see from here network ID, or we can just grep for network ID. That is also fine. We can just get the details. I think it's better rather than writing this command here. So much information is coming up, and you have to type this part. But this one is easy. Just grep for it. Docker inspect container ID and then you grep for network ID. That's it, and you will get the network ID. Okay, so now we have already checked that there's two containers are on the same network, and so that's why there should not be any problem ideally. But if you see that it's on different network, then you have to put them in the same network. Then we can also see whether they're able to ping it or not. And like one container is able to ping to another container. And mostly like this will be our bridge network on the bridge network. If it is a host network, then IP address will be same. But if they're a bridge network, so it's a different network, you can see IP address of container one, container two, and container three will be different from the host, right? Because they're on the bridge network. So this way, this is the blue, this tunnel through which network Docker bridge, through which communication will happen. And let's see the container. So we can run this again with split command to see the IP address. But what we can do here, Docker PS will use grep, that is the easier one. Docker inspect and the container ID and grep for IP address. Grep for IP address minus I address. Container ID of the MongoDB. So IP address is IP address. Okay, this is this one. This IP address of this is the IP address of front end. Let me check the IP address of MongoDB. This is the container ID and grep for address. So this is the IP address. So IP address of the MongoDB is 172.19.0.2 and IP address of the front end is 19.0.4. Okay. So now I want to ping from front end to this one. So I need to get into the front end. So how to get into the front end? You'll be running docker exec IT. So that means you are getting inside the front end container. You're getting inside it. You can get into the shell and run it. You can do ping, that is also possible, or you can directly ping it. So let's get into the shell. So that way it will be clear content and sh. So I got into the shell. And now if I ping to this one, so it's able to ping. Let's see if I have ifconfig installed here or not. Okay, ifconfig is installed. And I can see the IP address of the container where I got into. Like it's front end container. Front end container we have seen that is 0.4, right? From front end, we are pinging to 0.2, that is MongoDB. And the front end container IP address is 0.4. And I have gotten into this front end container, and using ifconfig, I'm able to see the IP address of the front end container. And it's able to ping this guy, that is MongoDB container. So there is no issue here. So this we also can debug. If it is not pinging, then you can see why it's not pinging, or what kind of error it's throwing up, right? So we have seen this ping from container to container, how to get the IP address of the container, right? Whether they're on the same network, that also we checked. So Docker inspect your the command, Docker inspect and container ID. Using that, you can get the IP address, you can get the whether they're same network or not. So the important command to remember is Docker inspect container ID. Okay. Now we can also check the port whether this port is correct or not. Docker PS port mapping is correct. Docker PS maybe I can use no truncate, no truncate. So it's clear. This is the front end, back end, and port 80 is mapped to 3000 of the host, right? So we can check that also. Then we can verify the network mode, Docker network, Docker again inspect. So again, Docker inspect, and this is the container ID, and use the network mode. It's on MANAP default. Similarly, for the other one also, it should be on the same network. Let's pick up this one. That's why it was able to ping network mode. They're on the like same. They are on the same network mode. MAN app default. Verify network mode. By default, Docker runs container bridge mode, allowing communication via container names. And if it still issues there, you can restart the container so that connection gets reestablished. Sometimes you know that restart helps. And if still it is not working, we can check and firewall and security rule. Maybe in your firewall settings, some port is disabled because of security settings. Some configuration is disabled, so that you need to check it out with your admin, etc. Or you can uh, look into your configuration, firewall and security configuration. And you can, to avoid a problem in the future, you can use Docker Compose to simplify the networking, to create a define a network, my network bridge, and explicitly you are attaching your app container and database to my network, right? So this is what also you can do. And the last, not the least, you can use that logs. Like if there are any problem, always check the logs, Docker logs, and see what kind of issues you are getting, right? So Docker logs, whether it's throwing any error or not, you'll be able to see if there are any errors or not. You can get for error, Docker log. Yes, a grep for error, grep minus I, I'm including cases. Okay. So, and you can get into the shell and then try to debug using different tools. So these are different ways. So your go-to command is Docker inspect, grep for network mode, grep for IP address, ping it, check whether they're on the same network or not. And you can get inside the shell, you can check the logs, right? So they are the different ways. You can check firewall and security rules. Now let's see today's quiz. I post a lot of quiz on my DevOps Challenge Hub page, LinkedIn. and also on my WhatsApp channel. So please subscribe, follow my WhatsApp channel and LinkedIn page, subscribe to my YouTube. So what is the primary reason two Docker container on the same host cannot communicate? They are on the same host, but Docker containers are not able to communicate. So what we have seen, they are not on the same network. Docker does not allow container communication. It's not true. Host machine is blocking Docker communication. The container must run with this host flag. No. So correct answer is Docker. They are not on the same network. Okay. Next question is, how can you check if two containers are on the same Docker network or not? So you can search for Docker. You can do Docker network inspect container ID, and then you can grep for the network mode or network ID, etc. Here or here you can do also network name. Okay. So that's it for today. Hope you like this video. Please like, subscribe, share my YouTube channel, and also follow my WhatsApp channel and LinkedIn page. Thank you for watching this video, and see you in the next video.